The South Hadley Falls Cemetery, which is accessible either up Spink Street or up Cemetery Road. This is the Spink Street entrance. And you notice that in one corner there's a plaque on the brick walkway entrance says South Hadley Falls Cemetery. That's its modern name. The arch above it says the Village Cemetery. That's the old name that held from the beginning of its existence, which is about 1839. Now, strangely enough, it says years on both sides, 1727. Now, why are you saying that? There's no cemetery stones in here that are from 1727. The oldest ones that exist in here are from the 1780s, and even those have been transported into the cemetery, which was made 1839, about 1838. Nothing about 1727. 1727 is the first time that a white person died in what would become South Hadley. The land was Hadley until 1755, but two people died in 1727, a child that was 1 year old, and the founder of South Hadley, John Preston, who died because the child died, and the man went out from Hadley to Hadley to try to figure out where to put the first cemetery. And that was in the center of South Hadley, not here. But all this means is that someone died that year in South Hadley for the first time. That's all. So we're going to go in the car and take a loop around the cemetery. Now on the right you have the Bowden's gravestones, and those I cover in one presentation. And also on the right coming up here, this is the second entrance. So we saw the first entrance with the wrought iron gate above it, and this is the other way in called Cemetery Road. And we're gonna go by some of the very old stones here. This is the oldest part of the cemetery. This is where the Lamb family is buried, and Pendleton is inside. We'll go by that later. And all the relatives that married into the Lamb family are here also, so you get to see them. Okay, on my left-hand side is where the pauper's field is, or potter's graves. You can see it might be considered large. There hasn't been many burials in here since 1940s, but for 100 years it was where the poor people were buried. And now we're going to go through a very important section, because this section was put here after the fact. The Pine Grove Cemetery of Chicopee and South Hadley was moved in two movements. The first movement came to South Hadley, and it's actually positioned right when I take this turn. You're going to see some old, very old brownstone gravestones right over there, and that row is all the Pendleton family, and they were moved and ordered. First of all, just moved here because of a better cemetery, and then William totally moved. Everything was moved in order to make way for a road that happened in Chicopee. And the first set of people moved here with stones was moved to this cemetery. The other set to plant into the cemetery on Chicopee Street, called the Chapin Cemetery, or the Chicopee Street Cemetery. And the last very important one to point out, and I do specifics on all these families, but this now is the start of Bardwell. Bardwell has 3 different sections in there. So they take up probably the largest parts of all. And we have so many stops in here. You can watch all the videos on every one of these. But I hope you enjoyed at least this introduction.